Welcome to the 7 Figure Salon Podcast with Rachel and Drew. I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
In this episode, it's a little different. We were able to partake in our friend Will LaMonaca's podcast, and we got to dive into all kinds of stuff with him. His podcast is called the Six Figure Stylist Podcast, and we had a good time with him. We've known Will for a long time, and we worked with him for a little while, and he's doing some really cool stuff. Amazing human, great dad, just great human being. And when you find those people, you want to stay close to those folks. So without further ado, here is our next episode.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Six Figure Stylist Podcast. And I have some very special guests on here today. It's a husband-wife duo. These two are absolute powerhouse entrepreneurs. Drew Thomas is a marketing and sales expert. I think he's probably produced not just 5 million, but 5 million just in this last year in sales. But together, with Rachel, she has been a badass salon owner for years in Houston. She owns 2 7-figure salons. She has a 7-figure salon coaching program. And recently they've both come together and taken this business to an entirely new level than where it was just 2 years ago when I first met them. And, I think probably in the last 5 years, they've produced around 20 million plus in revenue between both the salons and the coaching business. And they are not stopping. These two are absolutely hungry for success. And I would advise you listen all the way to the end to grab every gold nugget that they're going to drop. Drew, Rachel, thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, well,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I met you guys a couple years ago, and your salons were crushing. The coaching business was kind of just getting started out, even though you've been doing it for a while, but it was like just getting into momentum. Mm-hmm. And I think, Drew, you were still doing fitness coaching at the time, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was. We were doing a lot of fitness stuff and was hesitant. We got married, and we had talked about kind of moving away from the gym and in the online fitness stuff. And I kind of dragged my feet on it. I was like, the salons, I know we got salons, but that was her thing and this is my thing. And it was around that time where we decided, like, honestly, I just got tired of doing fitness stuff for like 10 years, took that as high as I wanted to, and then started to pay attention to more on the beauty industry, just a bigger industry,
Yeah. And probably less competition maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you exploded your coaching business in fitness, but it was pretty much all you. I mean, it was just, you were the one doing the sales calls. You were the one doing the marketing. Like, you were the one hustling that whole thing, if I remember right.
Oh yeah.
For the most part.
It was brutal.
We were always like helping each other out though, and like each other's business. Like, we obviously would, we'd have our days and then we'd come together and kind of fill each other in, or he'd be on a call and he's like, hey, I need this thing. I need this doc. I need this like agreement, or I need this thing. And I'm over here like trying to help do the operational side. And then he's doing the sales side. And I'm like, this is like, can you stop going against the grain here? Like, this is obviously like,
do both.
Why are we doing 2 separate businesses this way? Like, we should just do everything together because he, he was great at marketing and sales, and then I was great more with like the operational, fulfillment side of things.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like bringing those strengths together is, I think, why this coaching company and the salons have taken off in the way that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like that one thing principle, when you zero in on one thing and you have too many eggs in too many baskets, it takes your focus, steals it away. But also there's a principle, I don't know if you ever heard like follow the favor, when there's like almost like grace or favor on something, and you kind of feel that like you get into this, like, hey, this is where the favor's at in our life right now. Like, let's focus there. And then you just see it exponentially.
There was a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Funny you say that.
That's exactly how it was.
That's exactly what was going on, because it became harder to doing the fitness, and then she was doing the coaching stuff and the salons, and I would help when I could. And it got to a point to where she had a little sales team and that we had pulled from my network over here, and then they just weren't getting it. And she's just not complaining, but they weren't closing anything, and months would go by and we're looking at the cost to acquire a client, and it's just like, and I'm like, look, I'll take a call, close the call,
yeah.
And
he was like, whoa, looks so cool.
And it was the same thing I've been doing with fitness. It's just fitness is tough, you know. Where business is business to business. You're helping people build, you know, get the bricks together that they need to build the life that they want, you know. So more value over here. And then when I did that, I was like, okay.
Yeah. And in a sales process, when you're probably talking to somebody with fitness, it's a non-monetary goal that you have to connect with them on. Whereas with a salon owner, like there is non-monetary goals and emotions involved, but it's also you have a real hard number. Like we're producing X amount of money in revenue per month, and we want to be doing 7 figures plus, and you're there to help them fill that gap. So now with this, Rachel, how long did you own a salon before you, one, opened a second salon, and then two, started coaching?
So I had started the beauty lounge on a smaller scale, actually when I was pregnant with our son, Evan. And that was, I opened it in 2015. I was like doing the whole salon suite situation at this one salon, and the guy was in the middle of selling his salon. And, you know, it's funny. Like I felt like nobody else at the salon like noticed what was going on. And I'm like, he's walking through here with bald guys in suits, like something's happening, you know? And so then I get on LoopNet, I start figuring it out. You know, I figured it out in like 5 minutes. All right, the salon's for sale. That's what this is. He's bringing in investors, you know, like he's, you know, updating his agreements. You know, there was a typo, which is BS. Trying to get all these people nobody read anything, and everyone's signing stuff. I'm like, I'm not re-signing this. Like, this is different because I had my old contract. I'm like, this is different from what I originally signed. And so I was pregnant at the time with Evan, and I was like, all right, this is my chance. This is my chance to get the F out of here. So I left and I, you know, gave a letter of resignation, basically breaking my lease because I had a million reasons why. And I left my key, made sure everything was nice and clean and orderly. And I left and I opened my studio. I had already had that in the works, and I opened my studio within a few days, and I had like a little 3-chair situation, and, started that in 2015. And then obviously I didn't plan on outgrowing that as quick as I did, but within, you know, 9 months or so, I was like, I had like 8 employees. I'm like, we can't do this. Like, we are like on each other in this space. Like, it is so tiny. And I had not even a 1-year-old, and I started looking for what, you know, people know and see today as the beauty lounge, the real salon, I say, which is the storefront. And that was 2017. And then we didn't open the second location or even start looking for a second location until 2020. And then I was like, let's maybe wait and not in the middle of 2020. Yeah. And I'm glad we waited. That would have been a disaster.
We got better rates.
No shit. Yeah. And then, I'd say 2017. Yeah, probably 4 years between actually like opening the next one. But I wanted to make sure that like before I take on more, I got to be able to chew what I got. And if I'm having a hard time chewing and managing what I got, if I'm trying to sit here and duplicate that, like that, I think going to do anything but over leverage me and over leverage the team and our time. Yeah. And as far as the coaching side of things, really, I started that in 2019. I road teaching hair extensions for Laced for several years at that time. And every single class I was teaching, it's like, I'm there to talk about hair extensions. I'm there to, you know, to sell and teach and certify in hair extensions. And as soon as anybody in the room knew I was a salon owner, everybody started having questions. Everybody was like, you know, holding me after class. I actually missed several flights because people, like, I would stay until the very second because I wanted to give them all of me and I wanted to answer all their questions. But I'm like, I literally have to go. Like, I'm going to have to run to my gate if I don't leave right now. Wow. And so I started realizing that there was a huge demand for this. My DMs were flooded with questions about salon ownership. Like, how did you start your salon? How did you grow your salon? Like, you said, your salon does over $1 million a year. Like, how the hell did you do that? And I didn't know that wasn't normal. Like, I just was like, we're just doing what we do. And I didn't know that was like something abnormal to others. And I just kind of assumed like, I mean, other salons are bigger than me. We have salons that have 15 chairs, 20 chairs. Surely they're doing over $1 million, and no, they weren't. And so I started to realize how challenging that actually was. And that's when I had to start to create space, which is when we created the coaching program. And that was at the end of 2019. And then COVID happened.
Jeez. And that's, that's like a true sign. When do you know if you should start coaching? Well, are you having that happen? Are you having people just come and ask you questions about a specific thing all the time? It's like, well, maybe it's time for you to start a business on the side there. And not everybody should be a coach. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are just definitely not. Like,
don't. We were just talking about this. It's like, I don't think our episode's aired yet on our podcast, but we were talking about this. Like, I get hit with people's ads all the time, and I love seeing other people's ads because I'm like, it helps you see like what's out there and what people are doing. And anyway, I got this ad, and there's like this woman talking, and I'm like, I look her up, and I'm like, she doesn't even have a salon. She doesn't even have a salon. The salon that she did have like 20 something years ago, it has like 2 stars on Google, horrible reviews. And yet this chick launched a book about salon ownership. I'm just I'm just like confused.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know what, I heard Drew was telling me a little bit about this when we talked a few days ago. And it's like the amount of people that are just trying to get into the coaching space now, just because that's something that is popular to do. But most people aren't even going, like the fact that you guys went and researched whether in fact she even has a salon, like most people are too naive to actually do that and figure out, is this person actually producing the level of success that they're promising to help me produce?
No. And it's interesting because even on their lander, like their page, they're talking about how they, have a 7-figure or how they have or help salons achieve 7 figures. And then like I go and find some old article about this person, and I'm reading, and it's like their salon didn't even do $750 a year. And they're like sitting here like, how are you going to help someone do that? Mm-hmm. Do $100 and something $1,000 a month when you've never even done it yourself. So that's just a thing it's disappointing because I'm like,
we're looking out for the own, our client is the salon owner, and like we want him to facilitate an environment where her stylists or his stylists can do 6 figures, have health insurance and things like that, So when we see that, it's frustrating because they'll have their own ecosystem, they'll have their own sphere of influence, and I've followed people like that, and great ideas in theory, and maybe even have the heart to want to help, but they haven't done it. So it's all theory. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Interesting with the fitness thing that he was doing fitness. He was great at it. He was fit. Like it's like in business, when you look at a business coach.
I still am, Will.
I couldn't tell. You looked like you put on about 100 pounds or so.
Oh my gosh. Stop.
You look good, man. You guys are looking good.
Thanks. But when you think about like, if you're going to go, I mean, really building your business is very much like building like your dream body. You know what I mean? Like it's going to take time. It's going to take discipline, effort, meal plan, working out, drinking water, sleeping. Like there's like this.
Seeing results.
Yeah. You're not going to do like 5 steps and all of a sudden you have abs. Like, and for whatever reason.
Or 1,000.
Or 1,000. Yeah. Whatever reason, you then have, business owners thinking that is how simple it is. And it's not. It takes a lot of these different components together all at the same time, simultaneously holding down all these things. And then if you zoom out and you look into the fitness world, you've got, you would never, I mean, I wouldn't go hire a obese, overweight, unhealthy coach to show me how to be super fit. Like I wouldn't do that because I'd be like, well, they haven't done it or they're not doing it. So how can they show me? But for whatever reason in the coaching world on the B2B side, you got people doing that all the time. And that is what we see. And it's literally, people can find out the answers right at their fingertips. They can go search somebody, go find their salon, go find their reviews. And like, you may not like what you see, but I will say that what makes us unique is that we own salons right now. We have salons running and operating right now. They're profitable. They're doing 7 figures plus each a year. I mean, one of them's doing multiple 7 figures a year, and we're in the trenches. Our managers are in the trenches. We're in the trenches with our managers.
Before this, we
have meetings every week
about the salon
with our management team every Monday.
Were you doing hair, running the salon, and doing coaching all at the same time when you first?
Hell yeah, I was. Yes, I was.
How did that work? Oh, that's you're wearing so many hats. Have you transitioned to like just coaching now and like overseeing the salon, or like where are you still doing hair? Are you still?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I do hair? I can make $5-6 grand in a day. Why wouldn't I do it? And I get to show my team some cool stuff, some cool, I get to spend, I honestly go to the salon to spend time with my team. That's literally it. I can just so happen to make a couple grand while I'm there. You know what I mean?
Love it.
But I don't do hair because I have to anymore. I do it because I actually want to. So I get to do I don't really like see people that, aren't referrals or aren't existing clients. I'll gladly take a new client. I'm never like closed off for new clients, but I also price my services pretty freaking high. So that way it most of the time detours a new person from wanting to book with me, which is I like my OG people.
Yeah. You got it. At that certain point, like you just like, okay, I'm just going to reduce my books down to people I love and just keep going that route. But one thing I wanted to know is, you started this salon, you blew it up to 7 figures plus, and now you're here. But did you have anyone coaching you on how to run a salon, or did you just figure it out on your own?
No, I made 1,000,001 mistakes. But I will say, I think, and also like with Drew and I didn't know each other at that time. Like we didn't meet until 2020. So like together we have 4 kids.
Salons and the gym, because I had the gym. We were both entrepreneurs, and like the gym just completely I'm getting texts every day. Hey, I gotta cancel. I'm like, shit, poor, I'm already poor and everyone's canceling and couldn't get groceries, and this isn't that long ago either. It's 2020, right? So like getting credit card getting denied at HEB with my 2-year-old, and then like, okay, I'm gonna just leave that and I'm gonna have to figure something out,
Wow.
April of 2020 on Bumble. I'm like,
no way.
I'm too freaking busy to date. He's like,
I'm a marketer.
He's a marketer. Yeah. He's putting out ads, I guess, for me.
Ads on the locator.
He closed it. Yeah.
Closed the deal.
He had a kid from a previous relationship. I had 2 kids from my previous marriage, and I'm like single mom in it, and I'm like, am I going to date? Like, this is a joke. Like the period of time in my life, for the first time in a long time, I actually have time to do things, like, because my salon is shut down. I actually have time to date. I can't even go anywhere because like everywhere is closed. So I downloaded Bumble, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a shit show. And like
my pillow, I was in an unbuttoned shirt on a horse.
No, he wasn't.
With a sword.
No, he wasn't.
There you go.
Not the fish.
Is that what it was?
Is
that the trick?
You need the horse.
I'm going to tell you, I know you haven't experienced this because you're a guy and whatever, but like any woman listening to this who has been on Bumble, that a guy, there's only really 3 different types of profile pictures on Bumble. You've got the guy holding a fish. You got the guy, maybe just in Texas, you got the guy holding a fish. You got the guy holding a deer that he shot. And then you also got a guy with his hands around his buddies, like with a tequila. And it's just like, ew, well.
What one was Drew?
Drew's profile picture, I think it was just him smiling. And I think like one of the other pictures he had Ollie like on his shoulders. And I was like, swipe right,
Normal guy.
Yeah.
No fish, no deer.
No fish.
No drinks. Just
there were drinks, but
at the time.
Yeah, he doesn't drink anymore.
Well, so you guys kind of were going through a rough spot when you first met, in a way. And
we got our loans together for SBA, and now she's a whiz at all these types of things. But at the time, it was she had built such a cash.
I never had a loan before.
Never had a loan.
Besides my house.
I'm watching videos. That's what I would do. I just watch YouTube and I would learn and read all the time. And she came over. I'm like, I'm like kind of freaking out. I'm like, cool, I'm glad you're here. I'm like, you getting your loan? They just released the loans, I'm like, are you doing the thing? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know yet, but like, we need to figure this out. And then we figured it out, got the loan, and then she got a loan. And that kept us above water, barely,
Because prior to, I was just hustling babe boxes I just added babe boxes to our website because I'm like, I got all this inventory here that's just sitting. I have no idea. Like, I can't do services. I mean, I will admit I did some extensions in my backyard, but I held out for a long time. I didn't do it until I was like, this is all BS, all of this whole thing. And so then I started doing extensions. But for the first, month or two, everybody was like, this is legit. Like, this is a pandemic.
New way.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
So I was following the rules. But I started basically all this inventory. I'm gonna ship it out. I started promoting it. And basically I realized, okay, if I can sell 40 boxes a week, I can make payroll. And I was still paying my team with zero help from the government. Zero PPP, zero anything. I didn't even get the SBA loan until after we reopened. And most of which those funds, we only got like $100,000, most of which we ended up using on a renovation to remodel so that we could meet the 6-foot spacing of everything, which is now a crock of shit. But like at the time, that was what we had to do. Right. Wow. And so hustling the babe boxes. And so basically it was like, I think it was, we had a babe box mini and a babe box regular. And it was like the client would specify their hair texture, their favorite color, and their t-shirt size. And so we would pack a box, and my daughter was packing a box, and she would write a little card, and the value would be like double of whatever was in the box. But I was able to move inventory that would have just been sitting, and I was able to still make payroll. And clients all over, I mean, not even clients, like even people in the industry that saw what I was doing, they started doing that. So then I created a mini course. It was called Salon Survival Skills. And I gave it out for hundreds and hundreds of salon owners across the nation. I gave them all of our color kit verbiage, our sticker templates. I gave them all of the email templates, like everything, and showed them where they could get the boxes and how they could do it. And so that's like really when I started realizing, oh my gosh, like everyone else is struggling like me too, but a lot of people are struggling even more than me. And so I started, like, I had the time to really make my course better, create mini courses, create freebies. And I was just doing it because I wanted to. I didn't even know, like, oh, that's a lead magnet. Like, I didn't even put those two things together.
That wasn't even in your thought yet. Like, put out something free, ends up being a lead. No, that was just,
I literally just
that's how you do it.
Just gave it away. And we had boxes we were shipping all over the country, even people that weren't even clients of my salon.
Which might be a good thing for your audience to kind of, that's a kind of a gold nugget, and I'll kind of frame out if that's okay. Like, yeah. So like marketing and driving traffic. Like, I think one of the biggest things that I struggled with in my gym was because the churn is so high in a gym. Like, it's so high. People cancel all the time. People come in like, I'm ready to get in shape. I'm like, cool. And then they quit, and then they come back, and then they come in like, I got my friends and my family. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got 10 new members. I can eat meat this week, and and then like they all leave at the same time. So they would come together and they would go together. So it's just like sucked. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. There are people crushing it in the gym space, but it wasn't me. So what I was trying to do is I was just trying to be this look at me marketing. Like, look how fit and cool I am, and look at my hair and mustache or whatever, like it was very, which you see a lot of this with hairstylists. You see a lot of this with salon owners.
So gross.
Like, look how good looking I am. And they're so glamorous and like, blah, but no one cares. Like, no one cares what you look like, really. Like, it wasn't about me. And it took me a long time to understand this, because I thought that I was looking up to people who I thought were cool, but they had a following, but they weren't making money. Money is money is it's people talking to each other, trading money for product or service. So it is an exchange of value. So how do you make more money? Is you drive value, like real value, not philosophical, theoretical value, like really impact a human freaking being, like do that authentically. And that's a big thing for 2024 is authenticity, not this bullshit, like, marketing, putting content, story-based marketing stuff out there, longer play stuff, like even if just having your client talk about what they're coming in for, like some things that they want to get fixed or they're doing, what they love that you did, or even after, like it didn't have to be fancy. People want real, they're dying for realness, so what I was doing wrong was I was doing that. I was like, look at this lift, wow, and then I'm looking at my likes trying to find someone to like come in, but it didn't work, so what she did is what you do. You give away something valuable, something you would normally charge for. It can't be some bullshit. You get a free water bottle when you come in, like it can't be that. It's got to be something good that you would normally
treatment. Like it's the way like Oprah at my salons.
Yeah.
Like,
so that you give them
that's good.
Freebie.
Yeah.
You call it a freebie. Make it good, make it great, and offer it to people, and then invite them in to your chair, and then do it, and then talk about it, and then have them talk about it, and keep doing it. But everyone's going to take these. They're just not doing. No one's doing that.
Yeah. No, it's that what you're hitting on. There's a couple things with that. One, it's the law of reciprocity, if nobody's ever heard of that. But when people are given things for free, the chances of them actually making a purchase from you, something for free that's actually valuable, like you're saying, their chances of actually purchasing something from you because their trust for you goes up. And they also will feel there's this fairness thing where they feel like they need to invest in you as well. Right. I was actually reading, it's funny you bring this, I'm reading this book right now called Yes. I don't know if you ever heard of Robert Cialdini, but he's like psychological, a lot about persuasion and influence, not manipulation, but more just like scientific ways of actually being a better communicator and helping people more. And one of the things he writes down in there is about this law of reciprocity. And it's like, they did this whole study where they were giving free Coca-Colas out at an event where they were selling raffle tickets, and they gave Coca-Colas to certain people and then they didn't to other people. And the time between when they gave the Coke and when they asked for sales there was a long gap. It wasn't like immediately. The people that received a free Coca-Cola ended up purchasing like 10 times more raffle tickets than the people who had not received a free Coca-Cola. And that same concept, if you ever read the book Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vee, same concept. Like put constant value out that's actually going to help people. And then you have the right to ask for a sale or to ask for someone to become a client in some way. So I love that you guys are on the same page with that. Now, thinking about what you're doing now, you are asking people, they're investing into you to receive all of the knowledge that you guys have developed over the last several years. And you're condensing down all of your experience into a shorter amount of time so that they can get there quicker. Maybe they could get there on their own, but with your help, they're going to get there a lot faster.
Yeah.
I wanted to know is, now that you see the value in coaching because you're also a coach, who or what have you guys done? Have you guys been investing in coaching for yourselves? And I know you have. I'm just curious because like the crazy thing to me is the high level coaches have probably invested more in their own coaching than people that are coming into their program. So I wanted to hear what you guys have done as far as coaching.
We spend close to $25,000 a month in coaching. So I understand like everyone's income level is different. So like, if someone who might be investing in something that's $4.99 a month, it could feel the same as if we are investing in something that's $15,000 a month. You know what I mean? It could feel like, ooh, that's a lot, So, but the point is you want to feel that because you're going to take it seriously. Because when you pay attention. If you give something away for free, right now, they might be fired up about it, excited, but they may not also take it as seriously too. Like on the B2B side, on the B2C side, the whole freebie thing that kind of works, right? But on the B2B side, there's a value piece, and they're either going to convert it or not. They're either going to do it or they're not. They're going to implement it or they're not.
Business to business, business to customer.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, we spend a lot of money every single month in coaching. And that's not including our travel, our hotel, our meals when we're, out and about or anything. Like, and we have, I think we have 4 or 5 different coaching programs that we're part of right now, or more masterminds, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Program, but
we're more like getting in rooms with people that are doing
high level
stuff than
people like, obviously one of the things that we're working on right now is scaling the salons. Like we want to open, between 6 and 8 more salons over the next few years. And, we're looking at and helping, and, it's interesting because we have some friends that they acquire businesses and they do that, and they're in the acquisition game, but in a completely different market. And like, they're able to but we found this like friendship with them because like their parents around the same age as us, their parents, they don't even live that far from here, Mackenzie and Tony. And yet they're like not beauty industry related at all, but we connect because we're both business owners, and we both they have things that we can learn on our end. And then we have all these operational systems and they want to develop a coaching program. And we're like, hey, we can show you, so it's like, we're kind of trading our knowledge, and but it's fun. And we can do that to help each other out.
We run into them like in California, we run into them in Florida and Dallas. Like we see them
all over.
Yeah, we would have never otherwise met them if we weren't part of this mastermind. And I think that's why the community, if you're going to be a part of a mastermind or a coaching program, make sure that there's a really great community there, because that community is where you start to develop some of your closest friendships and your most meaningful friendships. That actually, like, you can have a better, higher quality conversation than like sitting at a coffee shop just talking about I don't hang out with people.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm here. Yeah. Because this is exciting to me. But my daughter's in dance, and I can't think of anything worse than sitting in the freaking hallway with all the other dance moms talking about nonsense. Yeah. And I'd rather be in the car listening to a live Zoom call, learning something. And that's
what they're doing.
They're all
that's
talking.
It. It's like an endless success and all these things, like an endless lifelong academic journey. And
it's an obsession with
that's it. I was just listening to Be Obsessed or Be Average this morning. I don't know if anybody knows the Grant Cardone, like Be Obsessed or Be Average. Like, I love that book.
Yeah, it's great.
It's freaking awesome. When you think coaching is like, if you want to, you got to get, some things are caught, not taught. You could go and watch 1 million YouTube videos and read 1 million books on whatever level of success that you're trying to obtain. But there's something about being in a room with people that are already doing the things that you want to do. And there's things that you're going to catch that you couldn't read in a book. You can't piecemeal it together from a bunch of YouTube videos. And that's why there's so much value in coaching and getting around the people that are doing the things that you want to do. And why would you be taking advice from people that aren't doing or living the life that you actually want to live? Stupid.
Yeah, you see that a lot too.
All the time.
Because the people like that, they're not typically bad people. They want to help. That's the tricky thing is people coaching from theory or marketers. They want to help. They're not bad, but they just don't have what I call the invisible things. It's like I do a lot of jiu-jitsu, and that is also very similar to business because it's like learning another language. I was actually do Spanish lessons as well. I was fired by my Spanish coach though, so I have to find a new one.
Oh,
legit! Nancy fired me. Will,
you can't speak Spanish?
Like I can. I mean, a little bit.
I look at my cat way more often.
That's okay. No.
Oh.
I mean, I guess no. That's about it.
I could say I could speak a little bit, but
he's Mexican. He's Mexican.
I think the only sentence I know in Spanish is this is stupid. I can't even believe I'm going to say this on the podcast. El chupacabra comerá la cara away. This basically means the goat sucker is going to eat your face, bud.
Oh,
yeah. You want to know my favorite word?
Nothing.
My favorite word is sacapuntas, and that's
what does that mean?
It's pencil sharpener, but it's so hard to say. Say it, sacapuntas.
Sacapuntas. I feel like I'm cussing right now.
It sounds like a dirty word.
It sounds like a cuss word. Man, if you called somebody a sacapuntas, like
Oh, for all your
They're like,
Spanish,
that's fighting words, bro. It's pencil sharpener. Don't worry about it. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
for all your Spanish speaking listeners, estoy tomando clases de español, pero estoy nuevo.
There you go.
All right.
You got it. I don't know what you said, but it sounded really.
I'm taking lessons, but I'm really new.
And I'm real.
Well, man, I was going to ask you guys. I want to shift gears. There's something I want to get into this podcast with you guys about your team, because you know how we were talking about COVID, a lot of stuff changed, and so many people are trying to jump ship into going to Solas or Phoenix or all these different things. And honestly, that works great for people. I mean, look, you got your incubation period in a suite situation where before you launched out and opened up your own salon. So that's a necessary step for a lot of people, and I don't downplay it at all. But I think that sometimes there's dollar signs in people's eyes, and they get a little bit excited, and maybe they're a part of a toxic salon. Or maybe they just have a trouble with leadership and they want to call it toxic. But either way, they're doing this. But ultimately, everyone wants to make 6 figures plus. So in a commission salon structure like what you have right now, how are you creating a pathway for your team who are W-2 commission-based stylists to actually achieve a 6-figure income?
So our team gets to choose their own career path. I don't choose it for them. Because I learned this a long time ago and I had this very talented stylist, great girl, like just love her to pieces to this day. Her name is Emily. And there was a period of time, this is when I was in my little suite thing, like I was in the process of opening my bigger salon, which you guys know today is Beauty Lounge. And I was just like, she was so talented. She was so great. Clients loved her. But she literally did not want to be a 6-figure stylist. And she literally had to say, Rachel, I love working here. I love you. I love being part of this, but I just do not want to be a 6-figure stylist. I know what kind of schedule that comes with. I know what I'd have to do that. And I really I want to have kids. I want to have a family. And that really, like, you know, she's like, it means a lot that you think that I am capable of achieving that. And in some sense, I believe that I am capable as well, but I don't want that right now in my life. And she literally had to say it that clearly. And I was like, whoa, like I'll never forget that moment, because that showed me that it doesn't matter what I think. I could show everyone how to be a 6-figure stylist, but do they want to go? Do they want to be part of that? And also, I have some people on my team that work 3 days a week, that are moms, that are married, that, you know, aren't as headstrong and like, you know, ambitious as maybe me or some of my other ones, but they still have a place in my business.
That's good.
They still have a place in my life, and they get to choose what career path they want to be on. And then that determines what their weekly goal, their daily goal, their average client ticket needs to be. And what we'll do is each year, we look in the rearview mirror and we say, okay, what was possible? What did you achieve this year based on the career path that you chose, stylist chose? And then what are we wanting to accomplish this year together? So each year we have that same conversation, and they get to now decide which career path they want to be on this year. And sometimes it's the same as last year. They're happy with that. Sometimes they're like, no, I want to buy a house this year. I want to buy a new car this year. I want to expand my family this year. Then that would likely land them on a higher career path option, which would, you know, we would then lean in more and help them perform, you know, at a better pace to achieve that. But, you know, it is truly left in their hands, and there is no sky, like the sky is the limit on how much they can make with us, because we have all of these endless options of things they can be a part of. They want to be a part of education. They want to do filming with us. They want to be integrated in the coaching program. Like they want to do shadow days. Like there's all kinds of things that they can be a part of to reach their income goals. You know, whether it's on a whole, like the whole year they're doing all those things, or maybe it's like seasonally they're taking on a couple of these other things. It's pretty cool. So the moment that I stopped trying to drive them towards what I wanted for them, and I just started helping them discover what they wanted for their own selves, and I can just show them how to do it. This is what you want. Okay, cool. You want me to show you? Then I can show them, and that yields in way better retention of our stylists. I mean, we have girls that have been with us 8+ years now. I mean,
Wow.
before I started doing it like that, I would have that 2 to 3 year cycle of like, I have a great stylist. She's an assistant. I build her up. She takes clients. She feels like she can't grow. And then she moves on and does something else. Like it was just kind of this rinse and repeat thing of like 2 to 3 years. And now it's not like that.
Yeah. And I think too, with when they go, like if a stylist goes and rinse, right? There's no right or wrong path, you know, it's like, I look at it like there's a field between right and wrong. Like let's look at it there, you know, like workability kind of thing. So if they leave the salon that they're at, what they don't know, one, everyone thinks the grass is greener, but the grass is just greener because you're not over there messing it up, you know? So there are going to be challenges on both. They're both difficult. Everything's hard. Life is hard. Like nothing is not hard. Like, that's what, going back to the fitness, I'd work with dads that are like 400 pounds. I'm like, dude, we just need to walk 30 minutes in the morning. That's it. Like 7 days a week. Like 7 days a week. I'm like, yeah, you got to walk every day. Like that's what we do. Like it's hard. I'm like, being 400 pounds, man, that's hard. Like that's also hard. This is hard. That's hard. Pick your hard. Let's pick the hard that's going to move the needle, you know? So when they go do that and they go become on their own, they're going to have marketing costs. There are actual costs to acquire a customer for everybody.
Doesn't matter what business you're in.
You need to know how long is that customer with you. It's called your LTV, your lifetime value of customer, that client. And what does it cost you to get the client? No one's doing these. No one knows that. You
gotta know that.
You know that. You got to know that because it's a wheel. You know, because you service them, and then when are they going to come back in on average? Like, how long is that? Like, you got to know these things so you can make fine-tune adjustments. You got to know how to market. Got to know how to sell. You have to have booking software. You have to spend money now, right now. If you're at a good salon, for me going back to nothing, I would work at the baddest salon I could find, biggest prices, and I'd go be the top performer. Crush it, stack money, put it into my accounts, and I'd start investing it in other stuff. And I would just have that I would just do that, you know, because now they're going to go play the game. Now they're going to go be a rental. Now you're playing the game we're playing. Like,
right.
You know,
with way less money coming in.
And now you're going to you're just putting a hole in the boat now. So now you got a boat. Cool. Now there's a bunch of holes in it. Now you got to fill this bucket up. And now that you're playing this bucket game where the bucket's filling up and it's emptying and it's filling up. Cool. You got more clients. Now your time is taxed. Your time broke.
Now you can't, you know, respond to clients in a quick time frame. You can't, like clients, like we're in the DoorDash, Instacart, Amazon Prime world. Like people they want it now. If they message their stylist, like, and their stylist is so good, but like that person, like there's a lot of other people that they could go book with in 5 minutes, and even, you know, like that they're going to go to eventually. They're going to get sick of that. So, so I think that, you know, if you actually, a stylist that is actually going to do well in a suite is someone who is maybe who's actually entrepreneurial, who actually has a business mind, who is going to seek education, who's going to put in the work. Everything
on the line to build a team.
And learn new skills. Like you can't just have your hairstylist, you know, tool belt and like that's going to help you be successful in a suite. It's not. Like, you know, I mean, and you talk to people in the industry, and there's so many clients that come into our program. I'm like, you're Venmoing people? What? Like, you know, like there's so many like things that are happening that, like, you know, you would be shocked, because in our industry, we're great at making things beautiful. We're creative people. Hairstylists are some of the most creative. They can take something that looks like shit and make it beautiful. So I see a lot of beautiful places that look successful, but when you peel back the curtain, it is not good. Like those things, like this is not good. And so that is what I see a lot of in our industry. And
catfish salons.
And then there's that ego piece where they're like, they don't even want anyone to see. So that's why they do hold out, and their rock bottom is deeper most times than maybe had they just had help in the beginning. So, I mean, we meet people in all different phases of business, but
As we kind of wrap up, I wanted to ask you guys one more question about your coaching, the coaching side of your business, and then give people opportunity to connect with you guys if they wanted to. But, you know, there's a lot of coaching programs out there. You got Summit, Destroy the Hairdresser. You got tons of stuff. So how is what y'all are doing different than what you see other salon owner coaching programs in this industry right now?
I'll let you answer.
Well, salon owners, right? I think the main thing for us is, you know, I don't know how to not, I say this humbly, but our locations are doing more. Our stylists are more successful. Our stylists are doing six figures. They have health insurance, paid time off, maternity leave. You know, we take care of our team. You don't see that a lot, you know, and we're doing it, you know, so but everyone's going to like everyone's going to pick their own path. You know, I just suggest like pick someone who's not teaching on theory, pick someone or pick a group of people that actually do it. Like our team that's in the coaching company is our team that's running the locations. So it's
our coaches are
same thing.
Team.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's unique, you know. But I'm sure that, not saying that they don't have value either. Not here to like kind of knock, but us and them, that would be a good comparison, you know.
Yeah.
It's also, want to also add too, it's like some of the options that you mentioned, like I don't know if they own salons. Like I
would check that out.
Like just do your research on who you're hiring as your coach and look at their own success. Like, yeah, it's important to see what type of success that they're getting clients, or that with the help of them, their clients are getting, but what success do they have on their own stats? Like what are their salons doing? How many employees do they have? What's the retention rate of their stylists and their management team and everything in between? Look up their reviews. Like you can't please everyone, but they should at least be trying to please everyone and have a really great online presence, and not be one of those things like I mentioned earlier on in this episode where you go and you're like, oh my gosh, like I can search this person's name and I can find her salon that closed down 12 years ago and it had shit reviews. And it's like all the pictures are dated. Like this world is changing rapidly. And I don't think that you can sit there and rely on expertise and things that worked 15 years ago in today's world. That does not work. You got to use people that are actually relevant, that are actually like doing the things that you want to do. Like a lot of times when clients come to us, and this is like so like flattering too. Like when people are like, we have a lot of couples that come into our program, and it's interesting because a lot of times the wife is like me and the husband's like Drew, and they want to be like us. Like they want to work together. They want to have kids. They want to be able to run salons. Like they aspire to be very similar to us. And even like people that we work with, like we admire them. We want to be like them. Yeah. So make sure that if you are, you know, don't just pick a coach based on price either. Like pick a coach because you know that person can lead you to the promised land and give you that future that you're really wanting to achieve. Because otherwise, if you're just trying to like make something fit because of price, like that's not going to like work well. You know what I mean? It's not going to like, turn out.
You guys are inspiring. I think it's one thing to be an entrepreneur. It's another thing to have kids and have a healthy marriage and be an entrepreneur. And so just that right there, the fact that you guys are running together, I think is going to be inspiring to a lot of people. And then when it does come to investing in coaching, it's like, if let's say there's a program that's 20 grand or whatever. Well, if you are picking a coach based on price, then that means that you have a mindset and a fear that you can't actually make that money back and that you don't believe in yourself. So it's really not a cost issue. It's a belief issue in who you are and your ability to go and reproduce the money that you just invested in yourself. So just going to say that. But where can people connect with you guys? How can they find you? I know you guys both have really successful Instagram pages, so I can put those in the show notes. But where would you guys want to direct anybody that's listening and wants to go and connect with you guys?
If you want to just hear us talk more, you can check out our podcast on Spotify. Figure Salon.
7 Figure Salon.
Yeah, check that out. We're there. We have a Facebook community group, 7 Figure Society, and we're about to go live in that here in a second. So we do live trainings in there. Or if you just want to straight up talk to us and the team, you can book a call It's 7fsstrategy.com/calendar. That'll take you straight to our calendar with us and the team. And then we do strategy sessions and see if we can help out. You know, if we can, we help out. If there's a better option, we'll just kind of politely recommend that direction too. But either way, we're here to help salon owners, and we love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Our goal and our mission is just to help salon owners make as much freaking money as possible and be able to have as much time freedom as possible. That way they can, basically go and continue creating in other areas of their life and, ultimately be able to pour back into their team and help, retain their team. If you own a salon and you're just freaking burnt out, exhausted, you don't even enjoy doing your craft anymore, and you're behind the chair, 5, 6, 7 days a week. Like, I used to be that girl and a mom and a wife. Like, it doesn't end well. Like, your relationships suffer, your health suffers, like you're going to have a lot of regret. And, I've been able to let all of those things go, but I had to make a change. And that has allowed us to the freaking life that we have now, by me, like, putting an end to that life that was just so freaking hard, that just didn't work. Like, I still do the same amount of money behind the chair as a stylist, working like 4 to 6 days a month because I want to, than I ever did working 5 to 7 days a week behind the chair as a stylist. And I have better relationships with my kids.
Same.
I actually have a great marriage. Like, I can work out, I can travel, I can do stuff like this with you. Like, there's just so much more light at the end of that tunnel, for a lot of these business owners. And I think that most people, one of the other reasons we coach is most people don't get into salon ownership realizing what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of people that are, think it's one thing, or it's this glamorous life. And like, no, like, you're going to personally guarantee a lease. You're going to sign a big girl lease. You're going to have a lot of money on the line. You're going to have people walk out. You're going to have people leave. You're going to have unhappy clients leave bad reviews that stick with you long after that stylist is gone.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared for that. So like, we help people see like what the journey looks like and avoid making those same, or falling for the same distractions and tactics along the way, and just staying on course. Because if they can just stay on course, they can have that 7-figure salon is so in reach. Like, it is right there.
And then all successful salon owners most of them start out as a stylist.
But you've got to be at least a 6-figure stylist before you even consider opening a salon. And I think that's very important for people to know.
Yeah.
You've got to max out the success of being a stylist before you can go open up something and then, train your stylist how to be badass stylists like you are. Like, you can't do that if you're like, it's the same thing with coaches. Like, sometimes people go into coaching because they can't do it. So they're like, oh, well, let me just go teach people how to do it and make more money that way. Same thing with, I see a lot of people in the industry that go out and make salons or create salons thinking it's this big cash cow, when they don't know how to train the people and how to actually like get the stylists to be badass stylists, first, because they haven't done it. So anyway, I think your podcast, I think it's great, like what you're doing and being able to show people how to become 6-figure stylists, because that unlocks all these other opportunities that they may want to pursue later.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you guys for hopping on here. I really appreciate it, and look forward to connecting with you guys again down the road.
For sure, Will.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.